Now, in Canada, we are not really, we are not deficient in both omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. However, if there is room for improvement, we have to increase our intakes of both omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. What are the sources of omega-6 and omega-3? All vegetable oils, except the tropical oils like canola oil, palm oil, palm kernel oil, contain omega-6, butter and other animal fats provide only very little omega-6 but no omega-3. Canola, soybean oil are excellent sources of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic omega-3 fat, and also flaxseed. Flaxseed, you could buy flaxseed oil capsules. They are excellent sources of omega-3. And other vegetable oils, unfortunately, olive oil, corn, sunflower, and sunflower, they cannot provide omega-3, but they can provide large amounts of omega-6 fatty acids. Now, marine oils, fish, and all various types of seafoods are excellent sources of omega-3. Now, here the omega-3, there are two types of omega-3 in marine oils. One is called EPA and the other one is called DHA. I'm sure most of you have heard about these two. And studies have shown that, both EPA and DHA can reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. And this has been shown in a large number of particularly a study done in Italy that was published in 1999. It's called BC study, where they had about 11,000 subjects divided into two groups. One group was given one fish oil capsule, providing about 900 milligrams of EPA plus DHA, and they went for 3.5 years. Another group was given a placebo containing no fish oil, and they looked at primary endpoints. They did not look at the normal classical risk factors for coronary heart disease. They look at the death, non-fatal myocardial infarction, stroke, and other things. And this slide summarizes their major findings. So you could see that one, the fish oil group, the all-cause mortality was significantly lower in the group given fish oil, cardiovascular disease, various types of cardiovascular disease. It's also significantly lower compared to the control group. And also, importantly, is the sudden death. And this is due to irregular heartbeat. And this is coming without any real sign. No pre-warning, and you might get your heart beating very rapidly. And that can be stopped by taking say about 500 milligrams of fish oil per day. This is the major finding of this particular study. And similar findings were reported in various other studies showing the beneficial effect of intake of fish and fish oil capsules. Now, again, various health organizations in the world have recommended daily intake values for fish as well as for EPA plus DHA, the two major ingredients in fish. And most of the organizations recommending that we take about intake 2 servings of fatty fish per week. That will provide about 500 milligrams of EPA plus DHA. Those are the two omega-3 fatty acids. So what are the sources of fish? I think mackerel is an excellent source of EPA plus DHA. Salmon, which is of course quite reliable in Canada. You take about 4 servings of salmon, you could get your 500 milligrams of EPA plus DHA. Now, if you don't like eating fish, now of course various health food stores, they're selling fish oil capsules. There is one called grams of EPA plus DHA per day, and this capsule is just about $1 each. So it's not an expensive fish oil capsule, and this is good for preventing coronary heart disease. Now, there are margarines, of course, available in the Canadian market now, 45 weeks EPA plus DHA. This is one example. And also there are omega-3 containing eggs. And this particular one can provide about 75 milligrams of omega-3 as DHA per egg. I just want to mention about the dietary cholesterol on serum cholesterol levels. And long time ago, I think people thought that if you eat foods containing cholesterol, will increase your blood cholesterol levels, which is not really true for most of the population, except those with the familial hypercholesterol, where they could absorb dietary cholesterol. But whereas the general part of the population do not absorb cholesterol. So therefore, without any guilt, you could have maybe about 3 to 4 eggs per day. And if you are eating eggs, go for the omega-3 eggs, more expensive than the regular eggs, but get sufficient omega-3 as DHA. And there are, of course, other health benefits associated with DHA. I'm not going to go into details, but DHA is important for the development of brain, particularly for infants. They should have some DHA when they're growing, and mother is the primary supplier of DHA. Studies have shown that presence of DHA in breast milk may explain why milk-fed babies have high IQ that compared to the babies fed formulas without DHA. Now, of course, there are some infant formulas fortified with DHA. And also, along with the same line, current studies have shown that EPA DHA, those are the omega-3 coming from fish oils, can suppress certain types of mental disorders. And also, EPA DHA can reduce blood pressure, can have possible effects on patients with diabetes, and we will talk about that this morning. Positive effects on inflammatory disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis, and also could be beneficial for menopausal women. And a few words about the dietary fat and health. Many people think that fat is bad. It's not the case. There's no real association of total fat and CAD risk, total fat and cancer, and most importantly, total fat and the body weight. The body weight depends on various factors as explained earlier. As far as the fat is concerned, it depends on the quantity of fat and the quality of total food. That's going to define the health outcomes. Total energy is the most important thing in controlling the body. So this is my last slide. So the primary effect of dietary fat on CAD is related to high intake of saturated and trans fat, and it's not related to the total fat. So unless there's a reduction in the intake of saturated and trans fat, a reduction in the total fat will not produce a favorable glycemic profile. As I mentioned earlier, try to include some fish or fish oil in your diet on a daily basis. With that, I'd like to thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ratnayake, for that wonderful piece of information. What we will do is invite questions from the audience here today, and we'll take a few for Dr. Ratnayake. Sure, we can start right here.
Doctor, it was a very good presentation. Thank you for that. I want to ask you a couple of questions. One is that you mentioned in your lecture about the food containing cholesterol. It may not have the same effect. And then the eggs, when you eat eggs, a lot of people say that you avoid the yellow yolks and eat just egg whites. Can you please explain? And also omega, difference between omega-3 and omega-6.
Thank you very much for that nice question.